You have clicked the Pixel Record podcast, programmed by KanOfSoda. Sit back, chillax, and enjoy the show.
Hello guys, KanOfSoda. Welcome back to a Pixel Record podcast. Now today will be a very different from one of my other podcasts. My podcasts are usually about a variety of topics in the media, about spilling the tea, movies, TV shows, and other cool stuff. So this one will be different, as you can see by the title. It'll be a political podcast, something that I rarely even do, actually, which is strange. Also, I would like to settle out a disclaimer. My opinion, it will be from the left-wing Democrat, because that's basically my side in this political stuff. I'm on the left wing, basically Democrat. Left wing is Democrat, right wing is Republican. So, of course, as you can tell, I'm going to be talking about the 2020 presidential election, because, that's literally what happened recently. So, I'm just want to share my excitement and just talk about politics and stuff. So, how are we feeling today? Looks like Joe Biden just won the 2020 presidential election. He will be the 46th president of the United States, and he'll be inaugurated into office on January 20, 2021. And not only that, but Vice President Kamala Harris, she is the first woman to be the vice president ever. So she has just made history. Isn't that super awesome? To be honest, at first, I didn't think that Joe Biden was my top choice. I was expecting someone like maybe Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren or Andrew Yang, I think his name is, but I think Joe Biden is good. He worked under President Obama, and I guess I kind of understand why people didn't want either Trump or Biden, but then again, in my opinion, I think that at least Biden is at least better than Trump. I would rather not have Trump for the next 4 years, because let's be honest, Trump, he's not only the most corrupt president in history, but he's also the most stupidest. He has no experience in politics. The only reason why he's rich is because he inherited it, like he's in 2015, 2016 or so. His dad gave him a small loan of $1 million. I'm like, damn, how spoiled. And he's also a businessman. And business and politics really don't come together very well because, businessmen can be pretty greedy. And they can only care about themselves rather than the general public. I could go on and on all the immature stuff that he has done over the past 4 years while he was in office. But I guess the most memorable for me is the tweets he's been tweeting on Twitter. He always attacks people on Twitter like the immature Trump person he is. It's crazy. He's 73, 74 years old? Come on. And for these past 4 years, America has been ridiculed because of this guy. It's not even our fault. I didn't even want this guy to be president. And if you're thinking, why didn't you vote in 2016? Well, because I wasn't old enough yet. I was 15 years old at the time. If I were old enough at the time, I would have voted for Hillary. And I guess I can kind of see why people didn't want neither Trump nor Hillary. But in my personal opinion, I think Hillary would have been way better than Trump. But then again, now that I think about it, if it wasn't for Trump becoming president, we wouldn't have Joe Biden and Harris as our next president. But oh well. On the bright side, at least Trump is no longer president in January, which is really awesome. So today is November 7, 2020 at the time of recording this. And the election was actually 4 days ago on November 3, 2020. And today I just found out that Joe Biden just became president. It has literally been announced today at the time I'm recording this. And if you're thinking, if the election was 4 days ago, why did it take 4 days to get the final results? Well, it's a really wild story. To be honest, I really don't know. It was just the states taking a while. So let me kind of explain. So you might have heard of popular votes and electoral votes. And what's the difference between them? I'll tell you. A popular vote is basically the votes of the general population. So basically, the total amount of people who had voted for this president. So maybe 1 million people in a certain state will vote for Biden, and another 1 million people in that state will vote for Trump. So this is where the electoral votes come in. If Biden gets the most popular vote in that state, then Biden will earn an electoral vote for that specific state. And a candidate needs at least 270 electoral votes in order to win. As I said before, the popular vote is the total amount of population. So I'm looking at the election results and the number of... Okay, let's look at Pennsylvania, which is where Joe Biden snatched to win the election, which is awesome. So Joe Biden has 3,345,906 popular votes, while Donald Trump had 3,311,448 votes, popular votes. So because Joe Biden had more popular votes, he won Pennsylvania. And shout out to Pennsylvania, by the way. Without you guys, the possibility of Biden winning probably would not have been possible. So thank you. I mean, thanks. Get it, thanks. And honestly, the electoral vote in general, it's really, I don't like it. It's outdated because it's not fair if a candidate wins more popular votes than the other candidate, yet they don't get more electoral votes. I think that's why Hillary lost the 2016 election. She had more popular votes, but Trump had more electoral votes. I have no idea why the electoral votes are a thing. I think it may be because of population size in a specific state, but still, it's weird. And I'm looking at the 2020 election results, and even with Joe Biden having more electoral votes, he still had more popular votes, which is really cool. And I think the popular and electoral vote flaw is also the reason why. I think it's also the reason why Al Gore lost to George Bush in 2000. I think it was also because he was winning in Florida. He had more popular votes in Florida, but they decided to pick George Bush as the winner. Oh, I also forgot to mention, if you vote for someone just because they have more popular votes in a certain state doesn't mean that they'll be certainly picked. Which, okay, let me explain it. Let's say that candidate 1 has more votes in a certain, more popular votes in a certain state than candidate 2. There can be some instances where the state will choose candidate 2 with the less votes to win for that certain state. And it doesn't really happen that often because people will accuse the losing candidate for cheating in the election. I'm on Twitter right now, and it's so awesome seeing people celebrate the victory. I don't think we've celebrated this well since Obama won 2008. I know one time on YouTube, I saw this video with people reacting all over the US to Obama's victory back in 2008. And oh my gosh, those were some good times. My times of middle school. God, those were some really good times. When Obama was still president, everything was super normal. And then when Trump came, everything changed a lot. And even though I just went on with my normal day, it still sucked knowing that there was a dumbass in the White House at the time. And now, well, why I say at the time? Biden has not been inaugurated yet, but he will soon, and this will be awesome. I do remember in the 2012 election with Obama versus Republican nominee Mitt Romney, I was kind of worried that Obama was going to lose because people are racist and they hate black people. But I know my dad was very confident that Obama was going to get reelected. And good enough, he did. I don't know why I was so surprised that a lot of people support Obama, but now I'm not surprised at all anymore since Obama was a good president, and we literally had the biggest downgrade in history from Obama to Trump. And I know under that video where people are celebrating Obama's victory in 2008, people are saying, now people look at America as a joke because of Trump. I'm like, yeah, that is so true. And especially with the whole COVID pandemic. All the other countries in the world were handling it perfectly, while the US had like the most cases, like thousands and thousands, hundreds and thousands of cases. It was so bad. People didn't want to wear masks, and especially the Karens and the Trump supporters. It was just no. It was so embarrassing for us this year with the whole pandemic and the fact that we were super laughed at, and all the other countries in the world handled it way, way better than us. It was so embarrassing. Mainly embarrassing, the fact that we're being represented as one of the worst countries in the world. Well, we were. And I was part of that the majority of people who felt so embarrassed that Trump was handling COVID super badly. Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing to be associated with these people. But now we don't have to worry about that since Biden is our future. And not only did Biden score a huge victory in this election, but there have been other victories in the Senate and the House of Representatives. You may have, during the last 4 days before Biden declared victory, there have been a lot of women who have been elected as part of the Senate and the House of Representatives. And also, yeah, there have been more women, and also the first transgender woman serving in the Senate and House of Representatives. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's still really awesome. I was like, damn, this 2020 election is going super good. I hope Biden wins. I had confidence that Biden was gonna win, but I didn't want to get my hopes too high up, because back in 2016, I was confident that Hillary was gonna win because of how stupid Trump is, but I was super wrong. So I didn't want to have my hopes too high, because in case Trump won, I didn't want to have the same disappointment I had in 2016. Another thing that also interested me is how Georgia went blue. So basically, what I mean is Georgia became mostly Democrat. Basically, Georgia won Biden's vote or something. That came out weird, but I think you get what I mean. So basically, for a long time, Georgia has been mostly Republican, because in the deep South, and it always goes red. Apparently hasn't been blue since 1992, and this year Georgia has gone blue, meaning the majority of people voted for Biden. I was super surprised, since Georgia's mainly Republican. And now I feel proud, because the fact that my votes were one of those votes that made Biden win is super awesome. I don't think I cared that much about the previous elections until now, mainly because this is the first time I'm voting in a presidential election. Well, this was the first time I voted. I cared a bit about 2012, but not too much. I cared a little bit more about 2016, but maybe not too much. I was just going like, I think Hillary's gonna win. No problem. But I jinxed it. So for the past 4 days, I was just anxiously checking my social media, mainly Twitter, to see who would win. Yeah, we have been waiting 4 days to find out who the winner was. It was crazy. As Ashley would say, that's pretty wild. And of course, this wasn't the first time it has happened. Apparently there's been a long wait for the winner in the 2000 election. They didn't get a winner until like December. Yeah, that was crazy. I do remember on election day, I was just anxiously checking Twitter all day, especially at night when all the votes were coming in. And I guess I was kind of disappointed when we didn't really get a winner yet. I was kind of worried Biden was gonna lose because of how Trump was kind of catching up, which made me question, why would people still vote for Trump despite what he has done during the past 4 years, especially with COVID and with the protests and the rioting that happened in June, and all the other crazy stuff that happened this year. Oh wait, they watch Fox News. Apparently Fox News is mainly right-wing. I personally trust CNN. That's like the first news source I would choose if I had to choose one news source for my whole life. And I guess the election results also took 4 days because of the mail-in ballots. Because of COVID, we couldn't really go outside as much. We had to like social distance. There couldn't be too much people in the same room, or else the virus would spread faster. So most people voted through absentee ballots. Basically, an absentee ballot is where you vote in through mail. Basically, they mail you the ballot, and you can basically use a pen or something to like bubble in who you want to vote for, and then you can send it to them. They usually send and receive through USPS postal service. And around a month or two ago, Trump, he wanted to try and cheat in the election by trying to slow down mail-in ballots, which was pretty crazy. And then, in the election, the actual election, when all the voting results were going in slowly, Trump was like, come on, I won, obviously. And I'm like, whoa, not all the votes are in yet. And that's what started the hashtag every vote matters. And I mean this literally. Because even if only one person votes for a candidate out of all the millions of people in the United States, it still matters. I guess most people learned this because of 2016, because a lot of people didn't want to vote for either Trump or Hillary. They didn't like either of them, so they didn't really vote. And yeah, this was most likely a reason why Trump won. And now on the election, Trump was like, no, don't count, don't mail in your ballots. I still won, obviously. Oh wait, no, he probably didn't say that, but I think he did, I'm not sure. And I also heard news headlines about how Trump was pretty mad that he was losing, that he was trying to go to Supreme Court to try and cheat in the election. I'm like, wow, so desperate. I swear, he's a child. Even a 8-year-old can probably act better than that. What I also found interesting is how on Twitter I also saw people who are non-American who are caring a lot about this election, which I just find very interesting. Even though they're not American, they still really cared about it, they still talked about it. Which, if you think about it, is kind of important, because even politics in one country can affect other places in the world. I mean, it's so weird. People always say, stay away from politics, you don't know anything. I'm like, politics are what runs in our daily lives. It helps the world go round and round. Even corrupt or not, politics will always affect our daily lives. You just don't know it. So, we all have a right to talk about politics. And I know it's like very controversial, I understand. But it's not something you can escape in your daily life. I guess you just have to deal with it. And I'm serious when I mean politics affects our daily lives, because when Trump was president, when he was screwing up everything, he was basically taking away rights for LGBT people, trans people, women, especially women of color, and people of color. It was insane, especially with the whole Black Lives Matter movement. Also, I love how about like 2 hours ago, Trump tweeted out, I won this election by a lot. I'm like, well, this did not age well. Okay. Wow, what a joke of a president. Also, I just want to point this out, just for fun. I thought it was so cool how the politician AOC, she played Among Us with a couple of other Twitch streamers. I think it was Jacksepticeye, Valkyrie, I think, Pokimane, and I think Corpse Husband. It was so cool. It allows, this politician to maybe connect with people, to actually care about people. And they always say don't idolize politicians, but people love AO3. It's really amazing. It'd be really cool if she became president after Biden in 2028. Also, I thought it was really cool how people made fan cams about her. It's so funny. Also, people made fan cams of Joe Biden. Oh my god. I never thought this day would come. Oh, Twitter. It's wild. I usually don't like fan cams, but honestly, I just find it funny, you know. I'm not sure what else to talk about. I just want to talk about my opinions and my thoughts on the presidential election, which I thought was super awesome. I'm so glad Biden and especially Harris won. This is like the best day ever. Maybe 2020 isn't so bad after all. Okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, I guess I kind of take that back. Even though 2020 was super horrible, I know that Biden has ended it on a good note. And since it's almost end of 2020, which is super weird, I can't believe it went by super fast, considering how awful this year was. And considering that 2020 is ending soon, that's good news for 2021. And the next 4 years and possibly 8 years. I do believe that with Biden in office, we will make this country better. He will fix all the mess and he'll fix, I was about to say mistakes, but Trump just has a thing with doing stupid stuff. Anyway, Biden will fix all the mess that Trump has created over the past 4 years, and yeah, it will have a lot of hope for America to come back. Although I've also heard on Twitter and Instagram there could probably be a civil war or something because the Trump supporters are angry that they lost, and there could possibly be rioting, so watch out for that as well. I'm not sure if it's true, but just be careful just in case, because you know they're Republicans, Trump supporters. They run around with their guns. They just wanted to make America great, I mean bad again. His slogan is so ironic, make America great again. America was already great with Obama in office. I think it should be changed to make America horrible. I was going to say again, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll finally end it. I know it seems short, it's not as long as my podcasts usually are. I guess that's all I want to talk about today, but I hope we are all happy that Biden is now our president. And I can't wait to see him inaugurated in 2021. I can't wait to see Trump getting dragged out like a baby. This is gonna be so fun. Anyway, I can't wait for the future of America, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!